to 1 Corinthians chapter 9. 1 Corinthians chapter 9. Starting in verse 16. It says, "For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me, what is my reward then? Verily that, when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Christ without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to God, but under the law to Christ, that I might gain them that are without law. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be a partaker thereof with you. Know ye not that they which run a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body, and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway." We as Christians should be running a race. And so it says here that Paul was saying that he became a Jew that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. And then he says, to them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to God, but under the law to Christ, that I might gain them that are without law. And then he says, to the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. So then, in verse 25 it says, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible." Now then, if we strive to gain wisdom, I mean, we ought to pray to God for wisdom. But if we're actually striving to preach the gospel, to be weak, to be as to get on people's level, so that they understood, so that they understand where we're coming from, as it were. The more we get out into the world, without being of the world, the more we get more experience, the more we're temperate. That is to say that we exercise in knowing what to do in every situation. And so it says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. We can actually know exactly what to do in every situation as we become more and more situated. How to talk to people. And of course, praying to God helps a huge amount. Let's all stand.